people are thirsty for. People are desperate for to be part of something. They're desperate for knowing where their place is.
Yep.
And and once you make that identity of I'm a CrossFitter, or once you make that identity of I'm a, whatever, like it gives you certain roles, and now you have a purpose. Now you have a direction. But there's so many people that don't have that, because you can now very easily go through your life with any of those things.
Man, it's so, the idea of purpose is like, without, I think both of us are so passionate about this stuff that we run the risk of sounding woo woo when we talk about it, but to me, that is fucking sacred. Like, that is so, finding your purpose, and when you have, if you're lucky enough to have, embracing it and holding on to it with your life is sacred to me. And I think that to take that into a very mundane extension of that is like when you're talking with someone about their first day working with you, what do you want to do? Where do we want to go? Oh, I want to get jacked. I want to feel better. And the drilling down and identifying and naming, same way when you get married, you are named. That's like it is out of you, and it is in the world. Digging into that and naming the purposes that make up that bigger goal is the most important work to do. And and I feel that sometimes when I talk to people, when I talk to a client about this, and they'll say, I want to look better. Okay, what does that mean? Tell me exactly when you think about this in your mind, because I never want to be one of those coaches that poo-poos, like, well, you don't want to squat 500 pounds, like, what's wrong with you? Like, everybody's goal is super important, and to do that work of the hard work of like, well, this means look better. I have my 20th college reunion in 12 weeks, and I would like to wear a nice gray suit, and it's been in my closet, whatever. And that is just like, that's the work, is the exactitude there. And then I feel like, to bring it back to just purpose in the larger sense, I feel like then you identify exactly what that goal is, and maybe it doesn't sound like fitting into my awesome gray suit from Brooks Brothers does not sound as good as getting jacked for my 20th reunion,
Right.
But then you can kind of take that little goal, and you want to help them take the 10,000 foot view of that, which is your purpose is, man, you changed yourself. Like, you achieved, and you became this assemblage of virtuous behaviors, and all of that went into that. And when you can get them to kind of take that view of all of the wins in their life and the positive steps in their life as something really big, really like fundamentally human, like that's what we do, right?
Yeah. And precisely. And if you can do that, whatever it may be, like wherever it pertains to, if you can get somebody to believe to connect it to something bigger,
yes,
then all the rest of it's kind of details. You know what I mean? Like, yes, there is the perfect perfect, but there is the best exercise plan you come up with for that person. 100%. If you want to compete at the national level in bodybuilding, your training program should fundamentally look different than somebody that wants to run the Boston Marathon. to use two kind of that absurd example
Yeah.
dichotomy. You know what I mean? Like, there is one that is there's going to be a training plan that will absolutely be better for that goal than the other one.
Right.
But now if you did that and you said, okay, well, if I'm doing 5 sets of 10 here on whatever, on a leg press, and I'm going to do, but this guy's program says 6 sets of 8. Well, which one's better? Well, fucking no. Like, who knows? We could dig in.
Yeah.
Now we're splitting hairs.
Yep.
Versus if you've got the big purpose, your big underlying reason, you stop stressing so much about those little things. Because at that point, there are just boxes that need to be hit to get towards the big purpose. It takes away so much of that pressure.
And I think that for us, like, I can't speak for you. For me as a younger coach, just starting out, that was probably the first real hoop I had to, or real hill I had to get over, was realizing that, on one hand, the details are incredibly important, but on the other hand, the answer, what's the best training program for me? Well, it depends.
Yeah.
There's no, and then the step after that, like you said, is just when you get someone realizing that they're laying bricks and they're just doing the work that they need to do. And the most important thing isn't 5 sets of 10 or 6 sets of 8. It's that, you did about 50 reps. You did you got your ass in the gym and you did leg day. And now you're going to have these 2 or 3 things that doing about the right amount of work is going to catalyze in your life.
Yeah. And it's like, to put it into a different arena, like in the business world, like if your goal is, like, people will be like, oh, well, should I build a business selling t-shirts, or should I open a gym, or should I do a financial investment firm, or should I, whatever it may be. Like, I don't know. Maybe any one of those, maybe all of them. Who the fuck knows? Probably not all of them, but but like, well, there are people that do kind of all those. But anyway, like, but then it's like, okay, well, let's figure out what the real reason you're doing any of these is. It's like, oh, well, I want to create generational wealth for my kids, and I don't want them to ever struggle like I did when I was growing up in a poor family. I want them to be able to go to the best schools. I want to be able to buy them a new car when they turn 16. I want to be able to give them a funded retirement account, whatever it is your thing is. But like, you have a definition of that, define that. I was like, okay, well, now that we know what you're actually trying to do, now we can say which one of these makes the most sense.
Yes.
And now we have a real easy or real answer to work with. But if your answer was just like, I want to get rich, bro, I don't know, man. Like, any of them, all of them.
Yeah.